Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Caru News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan and Organ Donation India Foundation. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic, and today is a very special day because today world is celebrating World Youth Skills Day. Young people are drivers of change and must be fully engaged in decisions affecting their future, guided by the United Nations Youth 2030 strategy. I urge everyone to act for youth skills development as a priority at the summit and beyond, said the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. In 2014, the United Nations General Assembly declared 15th July as World Youth Skills Day to celebrate the strategic importance of equipping young people with skills for employment, decent work, and entrepreneurship. Since then, World Youth Skills Day has provided a unique opportunity for dialogue between young people, technical and vocational education and training, TVET, institutions, firms, employers, and workers, organizations, policy makers, and development partners. World Youth Skills Day 2022 takes place amid concerted efforts towards socio-economic recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic that are interconnected with challenges such as climate change, conflict, persisting poverty, rising inequality, rapid technological change, demographic transition, and others. Young women and girls, young persons with disabilities, youth from poorer households, rural communities, indigenous peoples, and minority groups, as well as those who suffer the consequences of violent conflict and political instability, continue to be excluded due to a combination of factors. In addition, the crisis has accelerated several transitions the world of work was already undergoing, which add layers of uncertainty regarding the skills and competencies that will be in demand after the pandemic is overcome. The United Nations and its agencies are well placed to help address these challenges by reducing access barriers to the world of work, ensuring that skills gained are recognized and certified, and offering skills development opportunities for out-of-school youth and those not in employment, education, or training, NEET. During the decade of action for the 2030 agenda, the full engagement of young people in global processes is vital to generate positive change and innovation. And to discuss this very, very important topic of the day, that is World Youth Skills Day, we have a very elite, knowledgeable, those who knows about the skills training to the youth or the person who is having skills in herself also are our panelists today. And we will be discussing about the World Youth Skills Day. Along with, we will see how the India is coping up and doing the works for the youth skills training program here. And I would like to invite my first panelist guest. He is Professor Dr. P. Subramania. Professor Dr. P. Subramania is the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University. He is having more than 3 decades of experience in teaching, research, and administration. He did his MCom from Mangalore University in 1982, securing first rank with gold medal. He obtained PhD degree from Mangalore University in 1992 in the area of consumer behavior. He worked as professor, trainer, and consultant. He published 46 research papers in national and international journals of repute. He did postdoctoral research at Nottingham Business School, Nottingham Trent University, England, on HRD policies and practices. He also did a cross-national study of India and Britain under the Commonwealth Fellowship Scheme during 2001-2002. He received an international award entitled eLearn International Award 2003 from Scotland, UK, for his best research paper on trends and status of corporate e-learning and Indian experience. He also received the prestigious Devang Mehta National Award for Best Teacher in Human Resource Management in November 2009. He is down to earth, ready to listen, and eager to implement. Welcome, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. P. Subramania on our show. Honorable Vice Chancellor, you know well that today the world is celebrating World Youth Skills Day. And India has started the skills training program in a very, very big way recently. We would like to know, and you are also implementing the same programs and many other programs in your own university, that is Mangalore University, where you are the Honorable Vice Chancellor. We would like to know your views on today's day, that is World Youth Skills Day. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. P. Subramania, please.
Very good morning, Mr. Lal Goel ji, and also fellow panelists. We are celebrating a very important day today, very meaningful day, because it is World Youth Skills Day. Every year we are celebrating, right from 2014, on July 15th as World Youth Skills Day. This year, the main theme for this celebration is Transforming Youth Skills for the Future by the United Nations General Assembly. So it means, as a matter of fact, we have to equip our young people with skills for employment, decent work, and entrepreneurship. Two important reasons are there to make this day very special for all of us. The first one is where all of us are working on socio-economic recovery from COVID-19 pandemic. The second reason is we are very much eager to reap the benefits of demographic dividend in India because of our huge youth population. They are on working population. Definitely, we have to focus more on training, education, and development of the youth. The real challenge is meeting the skilling needs of the rapidly growing working population in India. Thanks to the National Education Policy 2020, which is mainly focusing on three important E's. The first E is education, of course, quality education. All higher education institutions, not only higher education institutions, right from pre-KG to post-graduation and beyond, our education institutions must be in charge of transforming the entire landscape of higher education in India. Therefore, quality education is a very important imperative for all of us. The second is employability. All these days, employability was put to the back burner, and we thought of concentrating more on employability now. The third one is employment, mainly on entrepreneurship, self-employment opportunities. Therefore, education, employability, and employment are the three important E's which are creating not only a lot of noise, but also creating meaningful light. Ultimately, in Mangalore University, we realized a very important factor, that is, qualification is not equal to competency. Qualification is made up of academic credentials in terms of certificates, other documentary evidences like cumulative grade point average and all those things. A particular student is highly qualified but not competent. Competency is made up of, again, 5 critical ingredients. First one is K, that is knowledge. What I mean trying to say is domain-specific application-oriented knowledge. Then A means aptitude, attitude. It means positive mental attitude will make a lot of difference. Then S means very important today, that is relevant and requisite skill mix, not only for today and tomorrow, for the next 10 years in view. Then H means habits, constructive and result-oriented or progressive working habits, learning habits, and all those things. Finally, V is nothing but values. Because there is a very important holy scripture in Bible which says that, values left in our children touch their destiny more than valuables left to them. Therefore, competence is made up of KASHV, KASHV, knowledge, attitude, skills, habits, and values. There must be holistic integration of all these 5 elements. Ultimately, the important challenge today is shelf life of all these competencies is always short-lived. Therefore, there is a very imperative need for upskilling and reskilling the competency framework of every person. There are 5 W's and 1 H. What, where, when, who, and why. The other one is very important, H, how. Ultimately, the students coming out of the portals of the higher education institutions are loaded with lots of knowledge, but they do not know how to apply this knowledge to tackle real life problems. So it means application-oriented domain-specific knowledge is very, very important. Our National Skill Development Corporation of India started telling a very important thing. In India, there is no unemployment problem, provided you are employable. It means the question is, are these resources are truly resourceful? Mostly not. There is an acute need for upskilling and reskilling our human resource. The biggest problem is de-skilling of Indian human resource. So it means we have to upgrade soft skills and life skills of all these young students. Then only we will be able to enjoy the demographic dividend. Ultimately, when the ratio of the working age population is high and the dependency ratio in terms of the proportion of children and elderly people is low, we are enjoying demographic dividend. That means 15 to 59 years. So it means 62.5% of the Indian population. By 2036, that will be the target. And the demographic dividend started in 2005, 2006, and will last till 2055, 56 in India. So it means we'll have youngest population in the world. But the question is, are we in a position to reap the benefits of this demographic dividend? Otherwise, we will succumb to what you call demographic disaster. Therefore, continuous learning, improvement, and development will be very, very important. Booster dose of skills upgradation will be very crucial. In Mangalore University, in tune with the National Education Policy 2020, we have started offering what you call 4 years multidisciplinary, holistic, undergraduate honors program, wherein the main focus is on skills upgradation. Accordingly, curriculum redesign, pedagogical innovations, formative assessment, experiential learning assume a lot of significance. Ultimately, today, we have to focus more on student learning experiences, feedback, and outcomes. It is not the outcome-based education. So it means ultimately, all the education institutions must look beyond the curriculum. Ultimately, what we are trying to impress upon that outdoor learning, problem-based or project-based learning, blended learning, service learning, internships, practicals, project report, mini consultant assignments will all equip our youth population in a better way to tackle the real life problems. This is my introductory remarks, Mr. Lal Goel ji.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chancellor, for giving your initial remarks. And what Honorable Vice Chancellor said that the youth skill training is very much important. And we had in India, we have started this program from 2014, and Bangalore University is implementing this program with full rigorously. He says that he has already started a 4 years program under this flagship program of skill training. But he insisted about the 3 E's. He has also mentioned about the CASH, that is KASHV. He also mentioned about the 5 W's and 1 H. But his more insistence is about the employability. He says, according to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, that unless our youth will become if they will become employable, then there is no problem of the employment in India. The problem is that the employability is required, and for that, the skill training is the very much required so that they can go. And the education is also required, but for the employability, your skill training is very much required. Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chancellor, for giving your very valuable remarks. I'm sure those who are watching our shows, and especially the youth, are going to be benefited immensely with today's program, with panelists like you and others are going to give such type of inputs to our viewers. Thank you very much. I will be coming back to you with the question in the next round. So thank you very much. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and he is Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran. Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran is the former visiting professor, IIM Lucknow and University of Texas at Dallas, USA. He is the founder of Dr. Sharan Consultancy, California, USA. He is the director of Eldo Private Limited, New Delhi. He has done his MBA from IIM Ahmedabad in 1980. He did PhD in 1986. He started teaching and researching business and entrepreneurship since 1984. He published research papers in reputed journals, international seminar proceedings, and chapters in books of readings. He started academic administration phase as dean in 1997, rising to executive director, controlling management and engineering institutes in 2007. Her Highness Governor of Karnataka nominated Dr. Sharan to the Senate of Bangalore University in recognition of his distinguished academic contributions. He was visiting professor to University of Texas at Dallas from 2012 to 2019. He also visited Washington State University and President University, Indonesia, on the invitation of the Dean Faculty of Business in 2018. He innovated and implemented a unique model to double the turnover with existing infrastructure in one accounting year. He is co-promoter of Institute of Family Business Management Society. He is honorary director of NCR Delhi-based high-tech B2B fiscal startup. He is also co-founder of OWGI Foundation, which promotes social entrepreneurship ventures. Welcome, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran on our show. Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, you have heard what Honorable Vice Chancellor has mentioned. And he is very clear that unless youth are not trained and they become the skillful, unless they will become the employable. Unless the employability will not be there, we cannot remove the unemployment from the country and anywhere in the world also. So now we would like to know, because we are celebrating or observing, I can't say, because whether it's a matter of celebration or observation of World Youth Skills Day. And when we know that in India, our ratio is very, very less as far as the skills training is concerned, or the trained skilled people are concerned. But we would like to know your views on this World Skills Day. Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran.
Thank you, Mr. Goel, for inviting me to discuss such a vital topic. Thank you, Professor P. Subramania, for creating a runway for me to take off. So I'm grateful to you. You made my task very easy and exciting. Thank you to all the fellow panelists. Together, we will try to fill in the picture. Mr. Goel, the first and foremost thing, if we want to either observe or celebrate World Youth Skills Day, is to focus on understanding what does skills mean. There is a general understanding of the term skills, I fully understand, but we don't want to take chances. We want to show the different layers of skills. So this is the first thing that let him. Then taking the lead from Professor Subramania, I'll try to highlight some of my thoughts on how can skills be transferred and what kind of skills are in demand in short term, in medium term, and in the long term. With that will be our platform for other co-panelists to contribute to the discussion today. Now, everybody knows what this device is. If I push it and it comes out, then you see this is the equipment. This is a sharpener. What does it sharpen? Pencils. Now, to you and I, we take it for granted. We have the skills to sharpen the pencils. But then there are a couple of important sides to it. When we were very young children and using this for the first time, we kept on breaking the graphite tip of the pencil and kept on exhausting the wood. Sometimes we did it deliberately for the fun of it. Sometimes there was a still more serious objective in our mind. We wanted the pencil to be finished so that we don't have to use it, read, write, and do our assignment. This is that device, skills. How to use this one is dependent on how to build this one. And it has a set of components. For example, the blade may get blunt. Now, if I am on a higher level of a skill, then I will replace the blade, not the whole of the pencil sharpener. But if I don't have it, I'll have to throw the whole thing, add to pollution, landfill, and bring in a new sharpener. All these issues in a simple example of sharpening a pencil and its subsystems makes you understand and makes our viewers understand skills, if they are valued so much, are valued for a reason. They solve problems, they create well-being, they bring affluence. So this is what the first layer of meaning of a skills is. Next, let me bring a related device which children use. You see this? This is called an eraser. When I am writing with a pencil, it is very much possible I make mistakes. Instead of A, I write D. Instead of C, I write Q. So it gives us opportunity to erase the wrong character, wrong writing, wrong number in mathematics, and replace it with the right one. Now, this skill will not function if, as Professor Subramania said, we have knowledge of what is wrong. So that is where the dependence of skills on knowledge on one side and attitude on the other side, and values on the third dimension, habits on the fourth dimension. Beautiful framework Professor Subramania gave. This demonstrates that side of the skills. The skills are on a higher plane if they can correct the wrong skills and replace them with right skills. That in itself is a skill, recognizing the wrong skills and ability to replace them with the right set of skills. That is another dimension, meaning which I want to bring to attention of our co-panel members as well as to our viewers, Mr. Goel. The third dimension is this device, which I use many a time. We call it a compass. Now, to read the compass is a skill, is a competency, precisely speaking, in the language of Professor Subramania. It is a competency. Now, it serves a very important purpose in human life. I must have the skill to know which is the true north. That is what is the purpose of my personal life, which is not imitation of anybody else's life. I, as an individual, have to decide what will be the direction of my life, what will be the purpose of life, and therefore, this is a physical compass. We need a mental compass so that we are always oriented to our true purpose of life every hour of the day, every day of the week, every week of the month, every month of the year, every year of our life. Less we digress from our chosen path, more we will achieve. And that is one of the most significant skills, which very correctly Professor Subramania said, life skills. This is one of these one, and this device concretizes the concept. We must have it in mind, a compass of our own. Chances are that some temporary influences will make us deviate from our life path. For example, a birth in the family, a death in the family kind of situations. Those are quite possible. In this example, what we are saying is, if I have a strong magnetic field Like my earpiece has magnetic electric quality, it will make the needle move in a different direction. So these inferences happen in life also. Let us keep that in mind. That is again a skill to choose a path and to stay on path and correcting deviation. That is set of these skills. That is the important meaning, the third meaning. The fourth meaning which I have is illustrated by this device. This comes from a town very nearby, our Bangalore, in a Channapatna. The artists make this out of wood. This is called a Russian doll. The beauty is you can understand the hierarchy of skills which are there. Life skill, employment skills, reading skills. All these are arranged in hierarchy. This one demonstrates the meaning of a skills very beautifully. For example, you see, within the large doll, let us say life skill, comes our employment skills or entrepreneurship skill. This is not where the matter ends. When I open this one, a next level of the doll comes. This one is what? How to read a balance sheet as a owner of a business. How to read the environment as a executive who is trying to decide the strategy of the organization. So this is the layer. And this continues. This is the sophistication of life. Another level comes. This is hiding using SWOT analysis as not knowledge, but as a skill. Strength, weakness, opportunity, threat analysis, not as knowledge, but as a skill. And this is this doll, which was in our employability skill. And then within this SWOT, what we want to do is make sure that this is product market fit. You were very nice to us, introduced that Professor Subramanian's PhD was in consumer behavior, understanding the consumer behavior so that we understand the problem it is facing. That is a skill. And this is not automatic, Mr. Goel. A man called, I won't name it, leave it like that, published a paper in Harvard Business Review in 1960s. And he called it marketing myopia. So the people who do not understand the consumer behavior will suffer and they will make this wrong doll. It will not fit in this one. It won't fit in this one. So marketing myopia has to be corrected. We don't have to assume what consumers want, but we have to test what consumers want through studying the consumer behavior. So that is a skill. By now,
excuse me, just Dr. Gupta, can you just mute, please? Dr. Gupta? Yeah, yes, please.
And that skill will be so important, product market fit, that it will not only create a job for the person who has this skill and competence, but it will create job for many people in the marketing department, many people in the production department, whether it's a startup or a established company. So the skills to create skilled people, need for skilled people is right here. And before this, so many dolls preceded. And this is not the end of it, Mr. Goel. I am very happy to show you there is one more here. This one more is what we can call, more precisely, a granular level skill, ground level skill. To open your computer or to open your mobile, to slide it down, then open the lock. These are the granular ones. And then finally, there is one more doll here, which says within granular, there is a specialist skill. I know exactly how to send messages to all the 250 people in my WhatsApp group. That broadcasting skill is this specialty. And in life, unless there is suspense and drama, the point is not proven. So let me show, inside this, there is one more doll, And this last one is the most important one. If I'm a skilled person, I don't know how to market it, how to get the best value for it, how to be at the right place at the right time, then all of the above is of little avail to me. Professor Subramania will agree. The people who take his 4-year electricity program, if they don't have this little doll competency, then the people won't be creating wealth. They won't kick off the next cycle when more skilled people find employment or start enterprises. So all the dolls are very important. What you notice here is the skill is very grave matter. The skills fall in 2 buckets. One is, let me find a livelihood. Most often, the easier option is, let me do part of the organization's work, that is employment domain. Then when you gain confidence, or if you're lucky to be confident in your teenage years, then you go in the second basket, enterprise basket. And 2-3 people get together, they bring technology knowledge, they bring market knowledge, they bring people knowledge, and they start a new venture. Those new ventures need certain skills. What to do in the first 3 years, R&D stage, how to create product market fit happens in 2 stages. Pre-market product market fit, when we are doing trial and error. Do the students want a textbook in physical form? Do the students want a textbook in ebook form? Now, that is a certain kind of a skill, and pre-product market fit addresses those questions. Then post-product market fit age comes when you see beauty starts happening. When Professor Subramania's 4-year program crosses the pre-product market fit stage and moves to post-product market fit stage, what he will experience is there are 1,000 students applying for 60 seats which he has created in the program. Selection ratio is 60 by 1,000. That is the test of product market fit. And this is today the age of technology. And technology not only using computer or intelligent devices, artificially intelligent or human intelligence, machine learning imparted, whichever form that be, all those are vast oceans of skills today. So what I will conclude by saying is, and Professor Subramania will appreciate this aspect, and that is, unless the teacher is skilled, unless the parent is skilled, unless the parents are skilled, there is no chance we will be able to take advantage of the beautiful dividend which the country has, not only from last year, but for the next 40 years as well. The dividend which we talked about in terms of people is preordained on how skilled is Mr. Goel, how ordained is Professor Subramania, how skilled is Professor Sharan to create the system of skill transfer. Now, this is where the beauty is. This is where the excitement is. And I'm happy you brought us in on this topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran. And Professor Saran says that unless the parents and the teachers are not skilled, it's not easy to get the dividend of for the youth, which we are envisaging. And to cement his points, he has given the live demo of some objects like a sharpener, eraser, compass, and Russian doll, which he explained in details. But his emphasis is that society has to wake up and try to skill everyone. Unless the parents will not have the skills, the teachers are not going to have the skills. How you expect that students are going to have the skills? So in one way, what he says is that skill is such thing which everyone requires. And in my opinion, the skills are having whether they were earlier time when the grandparents or the grandmother or father were not educated fully, 6th or 4th or say 8th class pass, but still they have the many skills, whether to for the dairy skills or the cooking skills or many other skills they were having. But today, because of the technology, the youth is going to have more and more skills. But definitely, everyone should have the skills, which is very important. Then we can celebrate the World Youth Skills Day in a very big way. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, for giving your views. Now, I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and he is Dr. Naveen Gupta. Professor Dr. Naveen Gupta is the director of Hindustan Institute of Management and Computer Studies, HIMCS, Sharda Group of Institutions, Mathura. Dr. Naveen Gupta is a leading behavioral scientist, trainer, management consultant, and therapist. He studied at the IIT Roorkee and has 34 years plus years of academic experience in teaching and research. He has visited a number of countries like USA, China, Hong Kong, Dubai, Oman, Sharjah, Nepal, Macau, Sri Lanka, etc. for training and academic assignments. He has worked as the top academic and administrative leaders, including as director of several business schools and as a director general with Advent Institute of Management, Udaipur, Rajasthan. He is also a founder of Soldiers of Society, SOS, in Agra and Mathura for making difference to the life and livelihood of the auto workers and other poor sections and enhance the experience and memories of the national and international tourists to the city of Taj. Welcome, Professor Dr. Naveen Gupta on our show. Professor Dr. Naveen Gupta, you have heard our Honorable Vice Chancellor as well as Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran. Both have explained their views as far as the youth skills are concerned, and especially when we are observing the World Youth Skills Day. You being a person who is doing the practicality by skilling the auto rickshaw drivers and others in a city which is very well known all over the world, that is the Agra city for the Taj Mahal, and you are giving them the skill, communication skill, which was earlier a very, very bad skills, and we know that how they used to behave, and that's why the city was defamed. But you are telling them how to behave nicely. That is also very, very, I must say, a skill which is required. That is the communication skill which you are teaching. We would like to know your views on this very, very special day, that is the World Youth Skills Day. Professor Dr. Naveen Gupta, please. Please unmute.
Thank you very much, Mr. Goel. And after listening Professor Sudhir, Professor Subramaniam, I think there is nothing much to share. Only what I can share, I will...
Professor Gupta, your head is going a bit up. Just adjust it. Just make... Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah. Thank you.
So, after listening Professor Subramaniam, Professor Sudhir, I think there's nothing much to talk about the skill, what is a skill, what is attitude. But what I would like to share my own experiences. As Professor Subramaniam and Sudhir sir has already spoken about the demographic dividend. Yes, of course, we have the largest army of the youth in the world. And we will be largest population of the youth having by 2030, the latest statistics also speak. But the only fear is if we are not serious as educationists, policymakers, or politicians, then this demographic dividend may be converted as a liability, not an asset. But if we are serious, all of us, if we are concerned about the skill, what Professor Sudhir Saran has already spoken, then of course we can see a very great opportunity. When we talk about the skill, Professor Subramaniam has already spoken very well, but I consider when we teach to the MBA students or any professional, any good professional require three kinds of skills. They are known as, I call TCH, technical, conceptual, and human skills. I would like to focus, as desired by Mr. Goel, also on human skills, because being a behavioral scientist, of course, technical skills are required. We have to be computer literate, vocational training, and already new education policy is focusing. And there are a number of projects introduced by the government of India also. They are doing, but still the results are not so good. Pradhan Mantri Yojana for skill development and all that, a number of schemes. The only, there now number of schemes, Smart, Strive, so many. But the only education part, that is more important. We have also taken one project of the government of India, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, but I could see the results are not very encouraging. However, there is something wrong with us also. We need to take the responsibility as a director of an academic institution. I think I need to take a lot of responsibility. Now, when I talk particularly about the management, MBA program of this country or technical program like BTech, so there is a statistics available. Only very few percentage of management students are employable. And we have got a lot of complaints, grievances of the industry that your students, after having MBA degree also, are not ready for the industry. To how to fill up this gap? That is the Human Resource Ministry, UGC, they have a lot of schemes. But unfortunately, I'm surprised to see why इतना बड़ा large population, इतने colleges हैं आगरा के, I belong to Agra if I talk, but number of unemployment, they are only degree givers. But I don't want to complain, but what I can do, so I would like to share my own experiences. I would like to focus more on human skills as desired by Mr. Goel also to speak. And being a man of behavioral sciences, abhi dekhe what are the problems? Okay, already we have talked about knowledge, skills, attitude, and practice. Knowledge is okay, degree, we have got a good degree. But how we can convert this into skills? Another challenge, and more bigger challenge is into attitude. Still, I belong to Agra, as I have already shared, a small middle class type city. Still, I see not a much problem. But when you talk to the auto driver, they are good auto drivers. When you talk to the plumber, painter, carpenter, the only problem is professionalism. You cannot be dependent on them, and that is very frustrating, irritating. So what can be done? They need only professionalism. Usko ek course curriculum taiyar karke can we design? Technical part is okay, wo karenge. And if they have aptitude, we can pick up them also. So the human skills which I'm talking about, MBA students need empathy, time management, conflict management, stress management. And the theme of this year is also learning and skills for life, work, and sustainable development. Life skills are very important because now we are seeing the recent study of the Kanpur Medical College also speaks that 80% students are in depression, anxiety, or stress. And you will not be surprising when you see the statistics. Suicide rates are also increasing. Divorce rate is also increasing. What I'm feeling कि perhaps क्या हम लोग ज़्यादा technical skills पे focus करके life skills को भूलते जा रहे हैं? So I think we need to focus. We need to create a balance also. Let me share my own example. What I'm doing in Hindustan Institute of Management, what we did, because we teach about management, concept of the management, organizational behavior, but practical knowledge ke liye, for example, we have started a canteen. A canteen cafeteria that was only management by the students. Look, what you study in a classroom, management concept, try to apply. Normally, I used to teach them that there are 5 functions of a manager. that is planning, polka I call informally, planning, organizing, leading, controlling, and achieving. How will you plan? How will you organize the resources? How will you lead and controlling? This we have to give a practical exposure. So when they are managing all these things, they are learning practical skills. So that is required. Knowledge is okay in the classroom. So what Professor Subramaniam was talking, experiential learning. जब तक हम ये नहीं दे पाएंगे तो हम लोग we will lag behind or we will create a lot of troubles also. The next example I would like to share, when we talk about the hunger index, we should not be only satisfied when we share the statistics. We are very poor in hunger index in comparison of the other countries, developed countries. No. What you can do, what is your role as an educationist? So we have started SOS Bhojanalaya. So the objective is of Bhojanalaya is to create the employment as well as to feed the needy. And these Bhojanalaya are managed by the students. By this, they are learning the art of empathy. They are learning how to organize the resources, negotiation, pricing, कैसे करना है. So all this we are running 6 Bhojanalaya in Agra city and 1 in Muzaffarnagar. So these are all managed by the students, and they're learning a lot through all these things. During this COVID period, they have started our students. I asked them, can I get tiffin services? Because there were a number of families in Agra. We need to be sensitive. Being educationist, if we are not sensitive, if we are only concerned with the classroom, then we are talking about the skills and all that. We can share knowledge, but we have a lot of blames. As a teacher, we can talk only in the classroom. Can you work outside? Can you make some change? If you can make some change, I think this is required. What Professor Sudhir has also mentioned, if I'm not skilled, let me check my own skills. When I teach cultural change to the students of MBA Human Resource, can you make a change in your city? What Mr. Goel was talking about, because the Agra is famous because of the Taj, but infamous because of the poor culture of Labka, which I will explain some other time. What is Labka? Because of the lack of communication, rudely behavior, interpersonal relationship problem. So that need to be, if you can make some change, then you are a good teacher. So we need to develop our own skills. I have a good skills of teaching only, but to make a change, that is required. Now, tiffin, they have started because there were a lot of families. All family members, they were affected by the COVID. There was no one they don't have a problem of the money, but there is no food available. So with taking a lot of cares, our students, those who were really a bit courageous also, like Mr. Manohar, he did a wonderful job. He created the services, but not free of cost. He had charged also. So during this COVID period, he did a good job. So many things. I keep on asking, take a tour of your city. What are the problems? So just learn, relearn, and develop the observation skills. If you see, just say we have seen the movie Udta Punjab. Here you will find in UP, especially in Agra, Thukta Agra. सब वो मुंह में तंबाकू डाला, पान मसाला डाला, चारों तरफ वो थूकते रहते हैं. That creates a very, very bad impression as well as, and then health hazards also. So what can be done? What can be done? And as we know, in fact of the masala and that may lead to the cancer also. So they have developed a Ayurvedic preparation, because very easy to say, please quit the tobacco. No. What is the alternate available? The students have worked and they have developed a very good organic powder, which I can show you later. Not now, it is not available right now. And then they have good companion also. In the morning also, I have seen they are going to start very soon. I was in a Paliwal Park for a walk, and I could see people are eating tobacco and all that. I asked my student what you can do. They will go there and they will demonstrate. They will learn through these communication skills. Use Madari technology, what technology can be used. So, and recently on 8th April, we initiated a project that was enhancing skills for employability. What we did, because we have number of schools here, number of colleges, RBS, Agra College, and if you see St. John's College, if you see the building, my God, if they are, sometimes I think if these buildings are given to some baniya, so they can have a very good mall and perhaps impact will be much better. City ke andar, but hardly, I'm very sorry to say, no class, no responsibility of a teacher. All are taking very good high salary. I want to raise through Mr. Goel this issue in front of the education minister. What they are doing here, their liability rather I can say. You will find hardly any student in a classroom. They don't take any class. So even then, but they are having degree, BA, MA. Now the problem was with the local retailer of the Coca-Cola, they want MBA students. MBA will not, they cannot retain because they need good salary, they need good job. So what we did for them, we can train 50 students because they need only training on communication, finishing touch, soft skill training ki zarurat hai. They will be employable for you. How to talk, commitment, time management, attitudes, है ना? ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मैनेजमेंट कैसे करना है, इसका हमने 20 दिन का ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम हमने दिया और 50 बच्चों को हमने ट्रेन करके कोको कोला को दे दिया. दिस वाज अ वेरी गुड प्रोजेक्ट फॉर अस एंड वी वाज वेरी वेरी हैप्पी एज अ टीचर कि यस वी कैन डू आल्सो समथिंग. देन सो मेनी अभी देखिए रिसेंट स्टडी ऑफ द कानपुर मेडिकल कॉलेज दैट स्पीक्स 80%, this was, I have gone through today only, 80% students are under stress and anxiety. Mr. Goel, I think we need to train them also. That reminds me a dialogue of a movie, Chichore, कहने का हमने बच्चों को ये तो बुला दिया कि how to crack the IIT or IIMs, but we have not taught them how to handle the failure. तो वो चीजें भी स्किल्स हैं, इम्पॉर्टेंट स्किल्स हैं, बताना बहुत ही जरूरी है. एंड प्रोफेसर सुधीर perhaps will agree with me कि when we say वर्ल्ड लेवल पे अगर कंपेयर करें तो हमारा जो सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, वो सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम इंडियन स्टूडेंट्स में प्रेजेंटेशन स्किल्स, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल. वी आर लैगिंग बिहाइंड. So that need to be sharp. If we are looking, the country should be again, है ना, विश्व गुरु हो जाए. तो मुझे लगता है everybody need to be very very serious. Though if I talk about 9 skills are required, so we can talk in next round also what are the skills required. So thank you very much. I would like to appreciate one scheme of the government of Karnataka also, one district, one skill. That is a wonderful project, but अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट है, पॉलिसी अच्छी है, बट वो एग्जीक्यूशन एक प्रॉब्लम है. तो उसके लिए किसी को दोष नहीं देना, हम जैसे लोगों को ही we have to take the responsibility somehow. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Gupta, for giving your views on this day. And what Professor Gupta says that main emphasis should be on the behavioral skill, because he says that the study shows that 80% of the Kanpur Medical College students are under lots of stress, under depression, because they are under so much pressure for the training. They have forgotten how to face the failure. And he says that people are being trained for cracking the IIM and IITs, but they are not being trained how to face the failures. And he also mentioned about the soft skills, how he has done the things, that changes in the behavior at Agra and other places. So according to him, skills are very important. Technical skills are very important. Education skills are very important. But side by side, we must train them for the behavioral things, so that the people should know how to communicate, which is very important. Thank you very much, Professor Gupta. And as you said, definitely we'll keep such type of topic in future also, where we will try to give the communication skill more importance, so that those students who are suffering, or the youth who are suffering with the depression, they should come out. If we can succeed, even if one student come out with our watching this program, it's a success for us. Thank you very much, Professor Gupta. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is a skilled girl, I must say, because her name is Dr. Prerna Sharma. She's a renowned memory girl from Mathura. Her motto is work hard in silence and let her success make the noise. She did her BSc in Industrial Chemistry, MSc in Chemistry from B.R. Ambedkar University, Agra, and PhD from World University, USA. She also did MSc in Psychotherapy, in which she learned a therapy to cure depression and anxiety. Her life was changed by a very famous quote by Robert Frost: "The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep." Just like our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, she also kept this quotation on her table, and it kept on inspiring and motivating her. She has many achievements and records on her name, such as India Book of Record, Asia Book of Record, URF Record, Limca Book of Record, Guinness World Record USA, Guinness World Record Iraq. She won several awards. Few of them are Rani Lakshmi Bai Puraskar by Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Atal Bihari Vajpayee Award, Avantika Award, Top 100 at World Stages, Nari Shakti Award, Beti Award, and many more. In her guidance, 20 students participated at national and international level. She also helped 15 orphan and poor students to participate on national level. She was selected as Youth Icon of Mathura by Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. Welcome, Dr. Prerna Sharma on our show. Dr. Prerna Sharma, can you just turn your mobile on a landscape, or is like this? Can you just turn it like this? Yes, please. Yes, thank you. Dr. Prerna Sharma, you have heard today the top, I must say, the top of the skills trainers, those who are educationists, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Sudhir Sir, and Professor Dr. Naveen Gupta. They have given the views. You are known, and I have seen personally your things earlier also. You are known as a memory girl. Now, I consider it a skill, and I'm sure that you are training this skill also. We would like to know few of your things, which, although you said that, can I demonstrate? I said yes, which I can open to our other panelists also, if they can ask anything, which she says, like if, or you want to say something first, you are free to say, then you can give, I will like I will ask you right now, what is the day on 8th August 2023?
What is the, can you repeat?
What is the day on 8th August 2023?
2023. Okay, that is a future. That is Wednesday.
No.
Okay, then let me give a... That is Tuesday.
Yes, you are right. Okay. Professor Saran and Professor Gupta and our Honorable Vice Chancellor, if you have any question, you can ask. Meanwhile, you can keep your question ready. I'm asking you, what is the day on 7th June 1981? Now it's a past.
1981. That is past. Okay.
7th June.
Monday. That is Monday.
No.
Can you repeat it then again?
7th June 1981.
Okay. That is Sunday.
Yes, you are right. Okay. You have any question, you can ask Professor Sir. Why I am saying, why I want, although she can also speak, but I want that such type of skills, like you are talking about. Yes, if she's having such type of skills, if our whether this skill is advantageful or not, I don't know. But she is having something which we want to show, and especially when the youth day is there, skills day. Yes, Professor Gupta, you want to ask anything? Yes, she's also having very good in number system sequences up to 20 numbers. You can ask anything. Alphabet sequences up to 20, you can ask, or word sequence, you can ask whatsoever you want to ask.
So,
Professor Gupta?
yeah. When will be what will be the day after 10 years of youth skills day?
That is on 15th July 2032. 15th July 2032, yes.
After 10 years.
That is Friday. You can check.
Now I have to check.
Great.
Dr. Gupta, have you
That
checked? Is it correct?
Must be correct. I cannot challenge her.
I am very
Because,
sure that is correct.
I will just tell you in a minute. Yes, 15th July is a... No. You said Friday? What day you said?
एक second, just wait a second. 15th
July
July.
2032.
Okay, 32. That is Friday.
As per my calendar, it shows that the 2032, 15th July is Thursday.
Wonderful.
No, I am damn sure. I will check.
Yeah, you please check. Yes, Professor Saran, you want to ask anything?
In a company, I had 7 different insurance policies for fire, for other protections. And they were, 10-digit number plus 3 alphabets. How can I remember those policy numbers? Which method of memory will help me?
Actually, for that, there are so many methods in a memory to learn the digit and alphabet also. So, but your
आप
data
हिंदी में
is...
बात कर सकती हैं, प्रेरणा. You can also talk in Hindi.
Okay, thank you, sir. But आपको क्या है, आपका डाटा क्या है, अल्फाबेट एंड जो नंबर सीक्वेंस है उसको मिलाकर है. So you have to combine the 2 techniques. That is the number system and also the data learning. तो डाटा का हमें इमेजिनेशन होता है हमारे ब्रेन में, बिकॉज हमारा जो ब्रेन है वो पूरा इमेजिनेशन पे बेस्ड होता है. हमारा ब्रेन इमेजिनेशन को ज्यादा अच्छे से कनेक्ट कर पाता है, रिकॉल कर पाता है, सो दैट हमारा ब्रेन उसको रिस्टोर कर लेता है इमेजिनेशन को. तो हमारे पास अल्फाबेट की इमेजिनेशन पहले से ही है, बचपन में हमें सिखा दी गई है. जैसे ए फॉर एप्पल है, तो हम ए याद करेंगे तो हमारे ब्रेन में इमेज जो आएगी वो क्या होगी, एप्पल की होगी. अगर हम बी देखेंगे तो हमारे इमेज ब्रेन में इमेज जो आएगी वो बॉय, बॉल, जो भी हमने लर्न किया है उसकी आएगी. तो हमारे पास जो इमेज है, डाटा जो है, अल्फाबेट का डाटा ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है इमेज ब्रेन के पास. बट हमें किस पे वर्क करना है, नंबर सिस्टम पे. हमें इमेजिनेशन पे फोकस करना है, हमें नंबर को इमेज में ट्रांसफर करना है. तो जैसे कि हमारे पास जो नंबर होते हैं 1 to 9 होते हैं, 1 to 9 एंड प्लस 0 to 9 होते हैं. 0 भी कंसीडर कर सकते हैं क्योंकि 0 भी आ जाता है. तो 0 से लेकर 9 तक हमें नंबर होते हैं, तो हमें उसकी इमेज बनानी है. जैसे कि हमें बचपन में सिखाया गया है कि सॉन्ग्स मेथड, हमें सॉन्ग्स बताया, जैसे 1 गन 2 सू, इस तरीके से राइम्स बना के लर्न कराते थे बचपन में. सेम वही मेथड हम इसमें नंबर्स को इमेज देने में यूज कर सकते हैं. जैसे कि हम कह सकते हैं 1 गन, 2 शू, 3 ट्री, 4 डोर, 5 नाइफ, 6 विक्स, 7 हेवन, 8 प्लेट और 9 वाइन, और दैट इज 10 मतलब हम 0 कंसीडर करेंगे हैंड. ओके, तो ये हमारे पास नंबर्स की इमेज आ गई. अब आप इसको जो सीक्वेंस है आप उसको कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं. जैसे कि अगर हमारे नंबर सीक्वेंस में दिया हुआ है पहले 5, तो 5 की इमेज क्या है हमारी, 5 नाइफ हमारे पास इमेज है, हमारा ब्रेन इमेजिनेशन को इजीली रिकॉल कर सकता है, इजीली स्टोर कर सकता है एंड इजीली परमानेंट मेमोरी में भी ट्रांसफर कर सकता है। जिसकी हमारे पास इमेज नहीं है, हमारा ब्रेन वो बहुत जल्दी फॉरगेट हो जाता है और वो परमानेंट मेमोरी में भी स्टोर नहीं हो पाता अनटिल एंड अनलेस उसको रिविजन्स ना मिले। और आज के टाइम में रिविजन्स का लिए टाइम किसी भी पर्सन पे नहीं है, यूथ तो बहुत ही बिजी है डिजिटल वर्ल्ड में। तो इसलिए हमें क्या करना है कि अपने जो डाटा है उसको इमेजिनेशन में ट्रांसफर करना है, जैसे कि हमें रिविजन्स कम देने पड़े। हमारा जो टाइम है रिवीजन में, रट्टाफिकेशन में, बार बार जो हम रट्टाफिकेशन करते हैं उसमें हमारा जो टाइम है वो ना जाए, हम उस टाइम को कहीं और किसी और स्किल्स को यूटिलाइज करने में या किसी और डाटा को लर्न करने में लगा सकें। तो हमें हर डाटा की इमेजिनेशन क्रिएट करनी होगी। जैसे हमारे पास ऑलमोस्ट सारे डाटा की इमेजिनेशन होती है, जैसे वर्ड्स हैं, अल्फाबेट्स हैं, तो उनकी तो हमारे पास इमेजिनेशन होती है, बस हमें कॉन्सेंट्रेट किस पे करना है, नंबर्स पे। तो हाँ,
प्रेरणा जी, आपने बताया नंबर पे कंसंट्रेट करना है, नंबर की आपने इमेज हमने सब सीख ली, पर उससे हम कैसे आप कर पाती हैं कि आपने बताया कि उस डेट को ये डे होगा या ये ऐसा नंबर होगा, उसके बारे में कुछ बताएंगे?
सर, जो नंबर्स के जो लर्निंग है पार्ट है, जो सीक्वेंस बताने वाला पार्ट है, उसको हम कनेक्ट करते हैं। जिस नंबर के बाद जो नंबर आ रहा है उस नंबर की इमेज को हम कनेक्ट करते हैं। तो ये है सीक्वेंस लर्निंग का पैटर्न। बट व्हाट अबाउट द कैलेंडर? कैलेंडर मुझे और मेरे स्टूडेंट को अभी याद है, 600 ईयर्स का कैलेंडर लर्न है। तो कैलेंडर की हमारे पास डिफरेंट टाइप्स की ट्रिक है। हमने हर साल के कोर्स बना रखे हैं। जैसे जो कैलेंडर है, कैलेंडर में जैसे 2023, तो ये पूरा नंबर बेस्ड है। तो इसमें हम 2032 ऐसे अलग ना लेके हम पूरा एक इमेज बना लेते हैं इसमें कैलेंडर में। तो उसका जो ट्रिक्स है कैलेंडर की वो बिल्कुल अलग है, और जो सीक्वेंस लर्निंग की है वो बिल्कुल अलग है। सीक्वेंस लर्निंग की हम कनेक्ट कर करके, जैसे पिक्चर चलती है, इस सीन के बाद ये सीन, इस सीन के बाद ये सीन, इस सीन के बाद ये सीन, वैसे ही हम जो डाटा है जो सीक्वेंस में हमें बताना है, उसके बाद ये डाटा, उसके बाद ये डाटा, इसको हम कनेक्टिंग मेथड से लर्न कर पाते हैं।
Professor Saran,
I will excuse myself. I have to.
Okay.
I'll arrange.
Okay. So can I ask a question to you first, Professor Saran, before you leave?
My pleasure.
Okay. So my question, which I am going to ask you, is which is more valuable, higher education or skill? Because now I am confused myself. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor said education and skills. You said the skill is required even for the family and the teachers. Dr. Gupta, Professor Gupta says the behavioral skill is, communication skill is very important. Now I am confused. Where shall I send my child? Either he should go for a MBA in Hindustan Technology or Institute, or he will go to a ITI where he will learn plumbing, etc., and get the thing, and or he will go to a place where he will get the communication skills better, so that he can please the customers, do the proper marketing, or in other way, the fooling the people and earn more money. Which is more important, Professor Sir?
The question is very simple. The answer is also very simple. You see, people confuse which came first, whether the hen came first or the egg came first. Similarly, whether in Dr. Subramania's plan, knowledge came first or skill came first. Similarly, in Dr. Gupta's plan, whether behavioral skills came first or our relationship with the teacher who gave us the knowledge came first. And in our Ms. Sharma's case, whether images came first or the ability to remember came first. We can resolve it very simply. Remember, in 100 years ago, there were people who were hardly getting formal education beyond middle school. Some of them had only primary school education, up to class 5, up to class 8, up to class 9. But they had one thing very important. and that is they knew that knowledge is abstract. I will have to have a equipment through which I can demonstrate. For example, one of these scientists from India said that if plants are happy, they grow faster. Now he had to demonstrate this phenomenon, and he had to design and construct an equipment through which he can demonstrate this phenomenon. He built the equipment for the first time himself. Building that instrument was an amalgamation of knowledge and of a skill. So, Mr. Goel, certain skills go with certain knowledge. This is what Professor Subramania emphasizes, and that is also what Mr. Sharma emphasizes, and that is what Professor Gupta emphasizes. So, as long as we remember that is not a either or which came first scenario, hen or egg, it is both hen and egg, two sides of the coin. That is when the potent skills are going to lift the humankind as we want today. So the message we will give it, don't divorce or separate knowledge from skills. Look which are compatible together and then pair them together. That's what, the reason why I asked Mr. Sharma is, I have a insurance policy number which has digits and alphabets, and she said, marry two systems. That's what I remember. So this is my answer, Mr. Goel. I'm sorry that, I'm going to Professor Subramania, so I'll excuse myself here. Can I log out or shall I stay connected?
Can you stay connected? You can hear the program. Thank you very much. Just be on mute. Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you, Professor Saran. Now my question goes to Professor Dr. Naveen Gupta. Professor Dr. Naveen Gupta, you mentioned about the soft skill in your. Now I would like to ask you. Somebody says hard skills are far better because you will know how to manufacture, how to do the things. Somebody says the soft skill is better. Again, a confusing thing. Professor Saran has explained about the education and the skills in that way. But we would like to know from you, which is better, hard skill or soft skill, and why, Professor?
Yeah, sir, there's nothing to be confused. Both the skills are required. As I said earlier also during my talk, we require for being a good professional 3 skills. Technical one, it is, yes, domain knowledge. Whatever you are doing, you are in media, so you have to top up. There is no excuse. Whatever you use, kuch bhi kare, Kaizen apply kare, kaise bhi kare, every day you have to learn. Computer skills hai, digital hai, kuch bhi hai. If you are a good plumber, you need to. लेकिन उसके साथ साथ अगर आपके अंदर ह्यूमन स्किल्स भी अगर आ जाती है तो यू विल बी अ वंडरफुल ह्यूमन बीइंग, अ वेरी गुड डॉक्टर, व्हिच हैज बीन रिफ्लेक्टेड इन द मूवी मुन्ना भाई एमबीबीएस, है ना. द डीन वाज वेरी वेरी कॉम्पिटेंट सर्जन, बट व्हाट ही वाज मिसिंग द कम्युनिकेशन स्किल, ही वाज मिसिंग एम्पैथी. तो वो राइट एंड लेफ्ट ब्रेन इफ दे कैन वर्क टुगेदर लाइक मिस प्रेरणा, तो दैट कैन बी अ वंडरफुल एक प्रोफेशनलिज्म की जरूरत है. आगरा में तो जो जरूरत मैंने बताया कि वो क्या है कि दे आर वेरी स्किल्ड प्लम्बर्स हैं, स्पेशली दोज आर फ्रॉम द मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी, वेरी गुड पेंटर आल्सो. लेकिन प्रोफेशनलिज्म के नाम पे कहने के आज काम नहीं करना, आज आना नहीं है, तो आप बैठे रहिएगा, आपके भरोसे पूरा जो बिजनेस है दैट्स वेरी. तो आई थिंक बहुत द स्किल्स है. अभी अनफॉर्चुनेटली क्या हो गया, अभी अपने क्वेश्चन पूछा व्हाई, बिकॉज वी हैव बीन ऑब्सेस्ड विद द टेक्निकल, वी हैव ऑब्सेस्ड विद द डिजिटलाइजेशन, जो अभी आपने बताया है प्रेरणा मैडम ने भी कि सभी बच्चों के पास अभी, तो वो व्हाट दे आर मिसिंग, बिहेवियरल स्किल्स हैव बिकम नाउ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सर. ह्यूमन वैल्यूज की जब हम बात कर रहे हैं, UGC has started, ASCT has started, लेकिन values cannot be taught. What I understand, they are picked up. तो picked up by whom? तो वो हमें demonstrate, जैसे सुधीर सर ने कहा है, वो हमें करना ही होगा. करेक्ट नेशनल करेक्टर बिल्डिंग की बात करनी पड़ेगी. आप स्किल तो हैं लेकिन कर क्या रहे, मलाया की तरह से कर रहे हैं, या बहुत सारे आपने देखा होगा ना MBA के कितने सारे लोग कितना बड़ा बड़ा फ्रॉड करके चले गए, है ना. आई हर्ड अ स्टोरी इन माय चाइल्डहुड That was a story of the Premchand. कहने का अगर एक चोर है तो वो एक रोटी की चोरी करेगा, और एक पढ़ा लिखा अगर चोर है तो वो पूरी की पूरी गाड़ी उठा लेगा, पूरी की पूरी गाड़ी चोर कर. That is the required कि they need. Thank you, sir.
तो वो भी एक स्किल है प्रोफेसर गुप्ता की, पूरी गाड़ी उठाना भी एक स्किल माना जाता है. Anyway, thank you very much, Professor Gupta. Dr. Prema Sharma, now Prema Sharma, अब आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगी पहले, फिर कुछ पूछे, या पहले बताना चाहेंगी आप स्किल्स? बताइए.
हाँ, मैं कुछ कहना चाहूंगी. जैसे आज यूथ स्किल्स डे है, तो उसमें हमें ये स्किल्स लर्न करने पे हम कॉन्सेंट्रेट करते हैं. बट एक ब्रेन में लर्निंग पार्ट हमारे कब आ सकता है? जब हमारा ब्रेन जो है फ्री हो, हेल्दी हो, तभी हम कुछ चीज लर्न कर पाएंगे. तो उसके लिए फ्री और हेल्दी होने के लिए हमें यूथ को सिखाना होगा कि हमारे लिए व्हाट इज द मोर इम्पोर्टेंट, वेयर वी आर गोइंग टू स्पेंड आवर टाइम, व्हाट इज द मोर इम्पोर्टेंट टू स्पेंड आवर टाइम. क्योंकि आजकल का यूथ जो है वो डिजिटल वर्ल्ड में, सोशल मीडिया में इससे इन्फ्लुएंस होके काफी डाइवर्ट हो चुका है. और फिर इन्हीं सोशल मीडिया और डिजिटल वर्ल्ड से इन्फ्लुएंस होके उनके वो डिप्रेशन, सुसाइडल थिंग्स, थॉट्स और एंजाइटी जैसी डिजीज हमारे यहाँ आजकल बढ़ रही हैं. तो हमें यूथ को पहले ट्रेन करना पड़ेगा कि हमारे ब्रेन की नीड क्या है, हमारा ब्रेन सिस्टमेटिकली वर्क कैसे करता है, हमें टाइम कहाँ स्पेंड करना है, व्हाट इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट. मतलब हमें इम्पोर्टेंट एंड प्रायोरिटी के बीच में डिफरेंशिएट सिखाना होगा यूथ को कि इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग क्या है, देन प्रायोरिटी क्या है. अभी यूथ जो है डाइवर्ट हो चुके हैं, वो प्रायोरिटी को अलग कर रहे हैं, इम्पोर्टेंट को ही इम्पोर्टेंट मान रहे हैं, वो डिफरेंशिएट नहीं कर पा रहे. तो अगर जब हम ये चीज उन्हें लर्न करा देंगे, सिखा देंगे, ब्रेन से डील करना सिखा देंगे, उन्हें पता होगा कि उनके ब्रेन में डाटा कहाँ लर्न है, जो स्किल्स उन्होंने लर्न किया है वो कैसे वर्कआउट करता है, उसकी जो टेक्निकल नॉलेज है उनके ब्रेन में कहाँ सेव है, कैसे वो रिकॉल कर सकते हैं, देन जो डिप्रेशन है, एंजाइटी है, उसको कम किया जा सकता है. अभी जो डाइवर्सन जो चल रहा है, इस वजह से जो यूथ जो है जो सुसाइड कर रहे हैं डे बाय डे, वो डाइवर्ट हो रहे हैं इम्पोर्टेंस के बीच में, वो सिलेबस के बीच में धंसते जा रहे हैं. उन्हें या तो पीयर प्रेशर में वो सुसाइड करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, या फिर वो मार्क्स के पीछे या नॉलेज के पीछे भागते हुए वो सुसाइड कर रहे हैं. बट अगर उन्हें ये पता होता कि हमारा ब्रेन जो है इस तरीके से लर्निंग या रट्टाफिकेशन वाइज वर्क नहीं कर पाता, हमारा ब्रेन इमेजिनेशन पे वर्क कर पाता है, तो वो इजीली उस नॉलेज को, उस टेक्निकल नॉलेज को लर्न कर पाते और अपने मार्क्स में भी अच्छा, जो उनको पीयर प्रेशर होता है मार्क्स को लेके, मार्कशीट को लेके, उससे डील कर पाते. तो स्किल्स, नॉलेज, इन सबसे पहले हमें सीखना पड़ेगा, हमें यूथ को सिखाना होगा कि हाउ टू डील विद द ब्रेन, हाउ टू डील विद द डिप्रेशन एंड एंजाइटी. जैसे नवीन सर ने बताया कि आजकल के यूथ जो है या जो भी क्लाउड है वो डिप्रेशन से ज्यादा सुसाइड कर रहा है. तो हमें पहले यूथ को सुसाइड करने से बचाना होगा, तब हमें फोकस करना होगा स्किल्स और लर्निंग पार्ट पे. मेरा आइडिया तो ये है कि हमें ब्रेन को हेल्दी बनाना होगा. ब्रेन हेल्दी, जैसे मिसकॉन्सेप्ट है, मिथ है कि बादाम खाने से ब्रेन हेल्दी होता है. बादाम खाने से ब्रेन के न्यूरॉन्स हेल्दी होते हैं, ब्रेन की लर्निंग कैपेबिलिटी नहीं बढ़ती. ब्रेन की लर्निंग कैपेबिलिटी बढ़ती है कि हमारे ब्रेन में क्या स्टोर है, हमारा ब्रेन पूरे दिन में जो देख रहा है उसमें से क्या नॉलेजेबल थिंग स्टोर कर रहा है अपने अंदर. तो हमारी जो अगर कचरा स्टोर होता जाएगा, टॉक्सिक मैटर स्टोर होते जाएंगे, तो नॉलेजेबल जो थिंग है वो कैसे स्टोर होगी हमारे ब्रेन में. तो अभी हमें कॉन्सेंट्रेट करना होगा कि डिफरेंशिएट करना होगा कि व्हाट इज द टॉक्सिक मैटर एंड व्हाट इज द इम्पोर्टेंट मैटर एंड व्हाट इज द prioritized matter. So, mera point of view.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Prema Sharma. And what Dr. Prema Sharma says is, basically the brain is having a capacity, and one should not try to fill up with the garbage. Otherwise, they will not be able to sustain in this race of getting more marks and getting the degrees, etc. And then they go for the depression. So it is better that you have to be very selective in taking those things which you want to learn. Otherwise, you will be, like as Professor Gupta has mentioned, that those 80% students are suffering in a medical college. It's a very, very alarming thing. Now, my Professor Gupta, I come to you back again. Do you think it is a matter of celebration of World Youth Skills Day in India, when in India, the condition is that we stand nowhere? in comparison to Germany and other countries where the skilled people are there. And as our Honorable Vice Chancellor has spoken about the unemployability, there is a data in one of our programs somebody has gave it that out of the 100 youth, only 20 youth are employable. And out of those 20, after a year or so, only 6 youth are going to be maintained or going to be there in the company. The rest is... Now, when we are having this type of condition today, when the unemployability is so much, do you think that we still have to emphasize on skills?
Sir, the question which you asked from Professor Sudhir, I would like to also add on something. If we talk...
Time bahut kam hai, 2 minutes.
If we talk with reference to India, we need more skills-oriented education. Only very, very few should be motivated for the higher education. But what we are seeing here, number of colleges in every city. You talk about Mathura, you talk about Agra. So what they are doing, I don't know. Second, the answer you have already given. They have a lot of good degree, इंजीनियरिंग है, सब कुछ है, लेकिन स्किल्स तो हम पढ़ाते नहीं, उनको स्किल्स सिखाते नहीं है. तो वो प्रोफेशनलिज्म, वो स्किल्स तो देना जरूरी है, तभी तो एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी. वो कहते हैं कि भैया हमने अपने इतने सारे बच्चे भेज दिए, बट दे आर नॉट एम्प्लॉयबल. तो एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स पे तो वी हैव टू फोकस एट एनी कॉस्ट. देयर इज नो अदर सब्स्टिट्यूट ऑप्शन फॉर इंडिया. Otherwise, this demographic youth population will be again a liability. फिर वो मंदिर मस्जिद की लड़ाई लड़ेंगे, जुम्मे को क्या होगा, सोशल फैब्रिक बिल्कुल गड़बड़ हो जाएगा.
जी. Professor Gupta, we will go for that political discussion sometime. Professor Saran, I can see you. Can you take one question from me right now? Professor Saran, are you there? Or you have gone? Oh, you have... Please unmute. My question to you is, government has come out with this Agnipath scheme. This is also a skill training for a person. Do you agree that this is a good idea for the government to start such type of 4 years training in the army? And similar types of schemes should be started in all fields, whether it's a banking, whether it's a medical, whether it's engineering, anything. We should have these 4 years Agniveers in all the fields, and the government will then, they will be skilled trained after their MBA or BBA or BA or MA or 10th or whatsoever. It makes all the difference. What do you say about this, Dr. Saran?
The answer is again very simple and straight. We mentioned that product market fit has to be there. This 4-year program is the product. The market are the youth. If it had fit, it would have been a success. So this has not happened, which is what Theodore Levitt warned in the mention I said, marketing myopia. Government suffered with myopia in formulating this program and launching this program. And therefore, what we want to do on this day is make sure there is a customer desire for the skills that we want. Let us not impose a will.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Saran. Now my last to Dr. Prerna Sharma. आप जाते आपका मैं एक बात चाहता हूं कि बता दें, नंबर सीक्वेंस में दूंगा आपको. 20 आपने बताए हुए, मैं 20 दूंगा, मैं उसी सीक्वेंस में आपसे आंसर चाहूंगा. आर यू रेडी डॉक्टर शर्मा? आप तैयार हैं?
हाँ, मैं तैयार.
तो मैं नंबर बोलता हूं और फिर मैं उसी सीक्वेंस में आपसे चाहूंगा. 7, 15, 97, 45.
Wait a minute. जैसे मैं बोलूं, then you are going to go further.
अच्छा, तो आप लिखेंगी तो फिर पता क्या चलेगा, लिखना नहीं है आपको.
Okay, ठीक है. I'll drop the
correct.
Okay.
तो मैं बोलूंगा.
The first number is 07.
Another is 15.
Okay, just wait a minute. After 15?
97.
97. After 97?
45.
After 45?
60.
60.
Yes, please.
After 60.
38.
After 38.
42.
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है कि जैसे मैं अभी आपको सुनाऊंगी, आप नोट डाउन कर रहे हैं ये नंबर?
मेरे पे लिखे हुए हैं.
ओके, देन फाइन. 38 के बाद आपने बोला 42.
मेरे को भी तो होमवर्क करना पड़ता है जब इस तरह के पैनलिस्ट आते हैं. मेरे पे मैं ज्यादा वर्क करता हूँ. 42.
आफ्टर 38, 42. ओके, देन आफ्टर 42.
33.
After 33.
94.
After 94.
No, I think because time नहीं है तो आप ये 9 digits हो गए. अब आप इन्हें रिपीट करके बताएं.
Okay. The number is मैं 1 by 1 बोलूं या फिर पेयर्स में बोल सकती हूँ?
नहीं एकदम बोलती चले जाइए, मेरे पे सब लिखा हुआ है.
Okay, the number is 071597 sorry, not 6. This is 4560 384233 and the last number is 94.
99.
94.
Correct. Thank you very much. So this is a skill, and I'm sure that you will be training the pupil, the students. It is something which is very much required. कुछ कहना?
One more thing. Sir, इसी में number sequence में
my college.
I will give you her contact so you can call her to the college.
Because you are from Mathura, है ना?
Yeah. I will give you.
Also in Mathura.
Yes, please. Dr. Sharma, you are saying something.
हाँ सर, इसी में मैंने 500 नंबर्स का सीक्वेंस लर्न किया था और अमेरिका का रिकॉर्ड ब्रेक किया था इंडिया की तरफ से.
बहुत धन्यवाद है, बहुत कांग्रेचुलेशंस. 500 नंबर्स, इट्स नॉट इजी. मतलब मैं भी अगर पढ़ा लिखा हूं नहीं तो मैं नहीं कर सकता. Thank you very much. And so viewers, we have seen today that we have celebrated the World Youth Skills Day today, and all our eminent guests have given their views, as well as our young memory girl has demonstrated the things. These are the skills. India is having lots of skills. Only thing is, जैसे कहते हैं ना, तराशना है. अगर हम इसको अध्यापक लोग हमारे बच्चों को अच्छे ढंग से तराश दें तो स्किल्स की कमी नहीं है. थोड़ा सा उनके ऊपर से जो मट्टी और धूल ढकी हुई है उसको हटाना बहुत जरूरी है. Thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Caru News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, as well as shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And in our endeavor to bring to you a new topic every day, and in the media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Tomorrow our topic is, will Sri Lanka crisis affect India? Will Sri Lanka crisis affect India? And our panelists are Mr. Ramnath Pradeep, former chairman and managing director, Corporation Bank. We have Professor Dr. R.K. Arya, Professor International Economics, Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, Deemed University, Faridabad. We have Mr. G.V. Mani Maran, National General Secretary, Rashtriya Lok Janshakti Party, Chennai. We have Wing Commander U. Satyan, retired Indian Air Force. We have Mr. Arun Lakshman, Director, Center for Policy and Development Studies, former officer on Special Duty Minister of State for Law and Justice, Trivandrum. So please tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, our Honorable Vice Chancellor. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Naveen Gupta. And thank you very much, Dr. Prerna Sharma, for giving your views and celebrating this World Youth Skills Day. Thank you all the viewers for watching our show. I'm sure today's show, our media conference is very enlightening to all of you. Thank you very much.